real.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. I'm going to call the meeting to order. It's 7:06.
And I would like to say that I'm recording on a personal device.
That started earlier. Just now.
Joe, just now. Yeah, I just got it.
Okay, great. All right. Thanks all for joining us, and for all of those of you at home viewing, thank you. First item is to approve the minutes for the trustees meetings on December 8th and December 16th. Edits or motion to approve?
I have just one thing. Under item D, the last item, I was just thinking, because the first two bullets for the friends, under the friends.
Which that?
Huh?
December, you're saying December 8th?
I'm sorry, just the first one, December 8th, that was first, wasn't it? Isn't that what you just asked for, Mark?
Or
did I do it
It's
backwards?
okay. No,
I'm
I
sorry,
said both.
December
Yeah,
8th, I was
yeah.
doing it in order.
Yep.
Is that okay?
Great. Yeah.
So under item D, Friends of the Flint, the last bullet where it talks about the Friends reporting the balance of the Fidelity account, that big account, which was like, on my last meeting, I had like 262,000, something like that. And we have the balance noted under the first item, 6,300 for the annual campaign and 1,650 for the postcards. I know that Annie specified the date. I'd like to see that date that she had said during that meeting, if we could.
You mean the amount?
What did I say?
You said date.
Date, I'm sorry. Thank you, Costa. The amount. Thank you very much.
The Fidelity account.
The Fidelity account. I think it was like. It was like 266,000. Oh, no, you weren't here, Mark. I'm sorry. So that's why I didn't what is she talking about?
No, I don't think I was here for this one.
No, that was the last one.
No, this is the December 8th. He was here for that.
Oh, you were?
Yeah, I
Okay.
remember
No,
you
he wasn't.
specifically asking.
Yeah, so if we could please put that amount, it's somewhere in the range of $266,000.
Yeah, she said that at the November meeting. It was 266, the amount that,
Yeah, it was
266
that everything I
something.
was at.
I have it on my December agenda. I wrote my notes, but it's
gotta
gotta say
change
266, but it would have changed. Regardless, it's a significant amount, I think, and we're gonna get a report on it monthly as requested from the board that I had put forth, so I'd like to see that amount on the minutes if we could, please. At this point, I'm sure it's gone up since December 8th or November, whenever I think that number was.
What did you
from.
have, 262?
266.
No, 266 is what I,
Something.
something, right, I didn't put that. And Annie's gonna provide monthly, amounts and expenditures from that as going forward. But you said, Jackie, that she will be providing a report when she gets back, since you don't have the summary of. Okay. For the next.
I think either Steph or I can take a listen to the meeting and get that.
I didn't write anything down, but I'll go back and listen.
Sorry.
That's all right, no,
I normally write down those types of figures and I didn't, so.
I wrote 266, but it could have been different. So it's
Any
good to
other
get the right one.
discussion?
I didn't have anything further than that.
I guess I would like to confer with Susan on this, it's F, acting director's report, all the way at the bottom of the second page. It's the last bullet. Fully stated her opinion that the library board of trustees should make the final decision. So I think I have a concern about the word opinion, because she's basing it on the library policy number 4, our guidelines, and the role of the trustees and on the MBLC. So it just didn't seem like opinion was exactly the right word to use.
Well, I think it maybe since the town charter specifically does not say this.
I do recognize we have a conflict with the guidelines, the MBLC and the town charter, but it's still, Susan, it wasn't just your opinion, was it? It was based on evidence?
Well, it was based on the role of the it's my opinion, it is my opinion. you know, and,
Of your interpretation of,
yeah,
Of the
Okay.
guidelines
yes,
from the MLBC.
yeah. So
so
that's,
you, what are you suggesting?
I'm
Should change it to?
We can change it to stated her opinion according to
That's what it is.
Or based on,
based on,
are you okay with those,
yeah, that's
those
fine.
changes?
Is the MLVC guidelines also?
MB,
sorry,
MBLC regulations.
trustee
I'm not sure their regulations, they're in, it's in the
Guidelines.
trustee and handbook.
it's guidelines.
Which,
Okay, so it's a handbook.
It's in my front seat of my car.
I don't usually bring it.
So Ms. Picoli stated her opinion based on the MBLC, based on the guidelines put forth in the MBLC handbook.
Well, no, based on the Flint library,
No, it's the MBLC.
but it's both. It's
Guideline.
the Flint,
Oh, that's right,
Yeah.
that policy, that's right.
the Flint library guidelines, policy number 4.
which,
Which are written from the MBLC guidelines.
well,
But
no,
are
no, there's a lot
superseded
more.
by the town.
I'm not sure that we should have a policy that is conflicts with the town
I
charter.
don't think we do not call it policy 4 any longer, we changed the title to that.
Their policies, yes, not bylaw, we used to be called bylaws,
Right.
Right.
policies.
It was called bylaws policy 4.
If I might, just not to belabor it, we could say stated based on the
Policy number 4.
Yeah,
But my point is, should we even have that policy since it's in conflict with the town charter?
Fair enough, discussion for
But
another
that
meeting.
policy, Allison, excuse me, do you have the policy 4 does not say that we do not meet, it doesn't mention the select board, but it does say we hire, but it doesn't go through the detail of how it's done, so it's not really against the charter.
Except that the charter says that,
It's a joint meeting.
no, the charter says the select board appoints all department heads.
respectfully, this conversation is about the policy, what it says versus about what the minutes say. And we can
Yeah, that's
talk about the policies when we get to policies.
Thank you.
Then we still have to address these minutes.
I think it's not inaccurate to say that Susan was basing it off of the MVLC handbook.
The trustee handbook.
Yes, the MBLC trustee handbook, and call it a day.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Yeah, it's fine.
I'm not thrilled with that, quite frankly.
I think she
That's
didn't,
what I was basing it
But if-
on was the.
and she also didn't speak to it in the meeting, she just stated that that was her opinion, she didn't cite her sources in the meeting. So if we are overly
Well, she
citing.
did, she did. She pulled the handbook right out during the
She did.
meeting.
Okay, then I think the handbook, but I just want to be clear, you're looking at just a record of what Susan said, not the
Right.
policy or not, whether or not the policy is in agreement or not, or anything, it's just what the minutes.
It says Article 4, the Board of Trustees shall appoint a qualified library director who shall be the executive and administrative officer on behalf of the board. Right, so it says it right
I
here.
think the handbook covers it, no?
Horse is dead, beaten, and you're,
No, I just found it right here. It took me a minute to
this,
find
yeah,
it.
we can, debate this at another time.
I agree.
But I think, are you okay with that? If we change this to say, Ms. Picoli stated her opinion based on the MBLC trustee handbook, that the library board should make the final decision.
Yeah, that's fine. with me.
Thank you. Any other edits or changes in the meeting? Meeting minutes.
I make a motion to accept with the amendments as mentioned for section D, Friends of the Bible,
Second.
and the library director search update,
I will
section
second
5, number 6.
Yes, stated, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Moving on, election treasurer, we're gonna skip over because we've already done that.
No,
Let's
No,
get
no, no,
started.
16.
we just
I thought we
approved
just,
the eight.
That was
I'm sorry, I thought we just approved the vote. I was
No, we didn't
surprised.
even, we don't think we can do it.
Sure, we can do whatever we want. Sorry.
Wow.
All right, December 16th, December 16th meetings, any edits, changes?
Identical suggestion in B. That starts Krista review, the library director search process, and then you go into the next set.
The third line.
Third line, yes, stated adamantly that only library trustees should make the final decision, and I suggest putting in there that the MBLC trustees handbook.
She wrote that exactly, citing the MBLC recommends the trustees.
Okay. I had the Flint guidelines, so you guys don't want to put that in the
No.
Flint guidelines. Okay.
The guidelines are based on the,
Yeah.
on the MBLC.
So that covers it.
Okay.
I make a motion to accept the December 16th minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Now we're gonna move on. We're gonna jump over election of treasurer because we've already done so. We're moving into the trustees report. I would like to, I think this is a good time to bring up the turkey trot donations. It's a good time for that. For those who were unaware or weren't there, the turkey trot, the folks at the turkey trot have an amazing year. They've grown every year since they posted this. I think this was their 8th year, and they raised $30,000, of which all of it was donated across several different groups, with our Friends of the Flint getting a check for $5,000, which was an increase from $4,200 the year before. Susan and I were in attendance along with Sandy Wilton to accept the check. Unfortunately, Susan left early, weren't in the picture, holding the big check.
That's quite all right.
We could, maybe
I
we
didn't
could
even know it was
Photoshop you
I
in.
didn't know it was happening. I didn't, no one sent an email out,
Um,
Mr. Chair.
I think the reason I knew it was happening was because I got last year, I went because there was nobody, the
I wasn't available to go.
Mark wasn't
and
available,
Annie
so
wasn't there.
the people at the turkey trot sent the notice to me. So that's how I got notified.
I'll make a note. I thought you would have all gotten the notice from the turkey trotters, so I'll make a note.
I would
It
like
was a
that.
blind, it was a blind copy to the group that it went to, so I
Yeah,
didn't see
I
who was
apologize.
there. I just
They
assumed it
wrote
was.
trustees, so I thought they had sent it to all 5 of you.
Right.
I'll make sure that they have all your
I
contact
appreciate
info.
that.
It was 5,500, you said? Mark?
5,000. even,
5,000,
Up
okay.
from 42.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
I don't mind
appreciate
getting a second email if you just want to be sure and say, hey, did everybody see this?
Sure.
because that's not deliberating, it's just a posting.
Yeah, of course, we should all be supporting it. I just assumed,
I would have been.
If it had come into the trustees email, we would have. been
again, it
forwarded, yeah.
said trustees, I just assumed that's what it was, but it was a blind copy, so.
That's fine.
That's
Next
okay.
time, Next year.
Anyway, it was a great group of people. They
Can you repeat the date you have?
sure, that was last week on the 8th,
The Trot itself was on
6th.
Thanksgiving.
That,
Thanksgiving.
It was 1/6.
This was
on
on,
the 6th.
on the sixth.
Yeah.
Oh, I was Saturday.
And, it was during a select board meeting, because they had to accept some of the, on behalf of some of the boards that got some of the money. So there were a lot of, I think 11 different sports teams and a lot of different groups in town got big checks. So thank you to the Turkey Trot and all the people that donated and showed up and ran. It started at like 5:30 in the morning here. I was unable to arrive at 5:30. Yes, the night before didn't leave much before that, so
Oh, gee.
I was unable to be here, but I guess we all were off without a hitch, so
You should have brought them
decent
all.
weather. So thank you to all of them. Does anybody else have any other trustee business to discuss? All right, moving on to the acting director's report. I'm sorry.
I just wanted, Jackie, you had said that you would, notify, Masco and Essex Tech that we're not out of the scholarship business. I just want to be sure that they know that and they don't award a scholarship thinking we're still in the business.
So Sarah Wood, who liaises with them a little more regularly than I, did let them know. And we had talked in December about paying them, which I need Mark's signature on the last payment they paid the student at the time, but we have to replenish that money in their scholarship fund. The way they do it is everybody writes a check to Masco writes a check to the kids. So I'm replenishing their fund with our final Masco person. But Sarah was gonna work with me to let them all know because she deals with them. But I'll confirm.
Good call. And I'll reach out proactively to the Turkey Trotters and ask them to add the entire group to the mailing.
I think if they just send it to the trustees in there, then boom, one
Yeah,
email gets it to all of us, I think that's the easiest one. Because whoever comes and goes gets an email, it's a new person.
Gotcha. All right.
And the director gets it too, when it goes to the trustees.
Yep. I will proactively do that tonight. So if there's no other trustee business, we'll move on to acting director's report.
Hello, good evening.
Hello, Jackie, your alterates.
Hello. So to begin, I'm gonna start with fiscal 27 because I think that will be briefer. You had reviewed a preliminary version of fiscal 27 at your last meeting. I'm working to schedule a meeting. There was comments, Maria, you had brought up some feedback about for MVLC for their fee, their significant increase. And I should be meeting with their executive director in the next week or two to talk about trying to see what strategies there can be to step into that increase a little bit more delicately. So don't have an update on that. They get very quiet from when we had our December meeting to when the January meeting happened, so I haven't followed up on that. But I'll be working on that. I did have to put our preliminary numbers into the town just to have a placeholder. So that's been submitted. I had my preliminary budget meeting with the finance and administration team. So I met with Finance Director Sarah Wood and Assistant Town Administrator Jackie Bressingham was mentally there as well. Just a small joke. Wearing a lot of hats.
I'm with you.
Reviewed my own budget submissions.
And thought it was wonderful.
Thank you. Yes, Susan, I did. I really advocated strongly for myself. Did make a note to Finance Director Wood that once the union bargaining is complete and the final salaries go in, I'll have to do a tweak on the materials number because that has to be copacetic. But also want to have our Patty from Merrimack Valley Library Consortium review those numbers for me to ensure their accuracy so that when you folks have someone do the errors report for you next summer, there's nothing prohibiting you from getting across the finish line smoothly. So that's fiscal 27. I am working with Facilities Director Peter Coleman on my capital submission, which I will have for you at your February meeting. That's going to be a little bit more intensive this year because I'm really building out the 5-year plan. And so as far as fiscal 26 goes, we are on track with all of our spending categories. I don't want to go through them all line by line tonight because I want to bring to your attention a couple of other items, which is a lovely segue for both my budget and my building update. So as you all know, we have our new facilities director, Peter Coleman. He's been with the town now about a month and a half. He's been helping me work through the facilities and building maintenance accounts for this building and helping with some very needed maintenance that we've been either putting off or didn't know we needed to do. So many of you, if anyone came by the library end of last week, you might have seen there was a contractor out to steam clean all of our gutters. There had been quite a lot of, and the professional term here is gook in all of our gutters, creating some ice damming issues, and we want to make sure we're protecting the roof. So Peter had seen that and it very quickly got some quotes and got a contractor onboarded to do that work, as it could have been quite urgent if we didn't deal with it, with how cold and how much precipitation we've already had. So thankfully that's all done and our gutters are in as clean of shape as they're going to be. He and Town Administrator Schultzback are going to be meeting tomorrow, continuing to put together the roofing proposals for this building so that we can have that in the 5-year capital plan.
What was the cost of the gutters? I didn't hear you say the cost.
I didn't, let me
And
reference
who pays
that.
for that?
What a great question.
I'm always asking about money.
No, it's good. So the cost of the gutter cleaning was,
Curious. And who pays for it?
great question. So it was $2,298 to do all of the entire building's gutters.
Okay.
And that's
$2,000.
$2,298. And for me, it was, didn't want to clean the gutters, but at the same time, I don't want to have roof leaks. So it was to me important preventative maintenance.
That's important.
With that being said, we have had a couple of other smaller items come up that I want to review with you, including that, because I'd like to talk with you about either using state aid or some of your trustees' money for a couple of smaller things before we get to next fiscal year that Peter has identified as some time-sensitive prevention that he feels is important. I don't need a vote on this tonight. I just want to go through it all with you tonight, and then we can put it on the agenda for your next meeting. I may find some other funding sources for some of these, but some of them, I'm hoping for your support. So a couple of items that I want to talk through tonight. So the gutters we did right away. It was a warm day and the contractor was available. So it was best to do it when it wasn't actively below freezing or snowing. We had a window at the end of last week when it was nice out, so we took advantage and did it. And I'll be able to cover that in my current building maintenance account.
For the gutters.
For the gutters, but a couple of these others, we've had a number of our emergency lights become non-responsive and need to replace the batteries. The quote came back for that at $2,420, which I can't fit into my normal building
Say that
maintenance.
again, please.
2420.00. For
The
the
batteries.
emergency, for the emergency lights. So right now, we're not on a generator, so when we're in an emergency, this is our only lighting to get people out of the building.
And that's,
This room is not a good example.
okay.
It's in the stacks up and down. And in some of like our back basement rooms where like the boiler and other HVAC and panels are. So we did get a note on that in our recent fire inspection, so I do want to get that taken care of relatively promptly. We also are awaiting quotes on a number of our extinguishers need to be repressurized. So that was also noted on our fire inspection. So I'll have a quote for that in the next week or two.
Are they being checked annually?
They are, but this is more than just the annual inspection. This is a couple that seem to be depressurized and need to be like repressurized.
But part of the annual inspection is refilling any extinguishers that are low.
And we have not had a budget line item for doing that, for whatever reason.
Never?
Who fills the pressure on the fire extinguishers? Is that the fire department?
No, it's
there's
a-
Oh, is
there's
it
It's a
another-
private company and we haven't had to do it in a while.
Okay.
So all of these would normally just come out of our building maintenance account, which we budget for.
Yeah.
However, we had the panel for the alarm system over the summer went, and I had to repair that immediately.
Yeah, no, I mean, I just
Um,
was asking.
Oh, no, it's an important question that I want to answer for everybody, because normally a lot of these things I cover in the normal building maintenance fund. Mark's checking it out. Normally they're covered in our regular building maintenance fund, but we've had a lot of small things build up where the Wayne alarm panel went. There was electrical work that we needed to do. We've had some HVAC issues. The HVAC in the server room needed to be serviced over the summer outside of our normal contract. We actually had to expand our service contract because they weren't regularly delivering the glycol that needs to go into the system to run. So now we're on a regular service delivery contract for that. We also had issues where the trustees room was never getting to an appropriate human temperature in the summer. It was like consistently in the mid to late 80s, if not warmer. And we realized that they hadn't been servicing all of the filtration units in the second floor attic in the historic section of the building. So I ended up going back out and revising our service contract with the HVAC provider to provide those two services. All of which to say, when a lot of these types of like $2,000 to $4,000 expenses happen in the same year,
It adds up.
it's midway through the year, I'm very tight on building maintenance, I know what else I need to pay for to get through to the summer, but I'm very nervous about going over budget.
We also have the Friends, $266,000 that goes to the building.
Yep, and I'm also asking the Friends, but their capital fund was donated with the intention of furnishings, fixtures, and equipment. These are much more like town building maintenance. So we haven't really touched state aid
The
in a
gutters
number.
are the building.
I'm asking the Friends for all these things too, but I'm just letting you know
I'm
what
saying
the
the
needs
24,
are.
I understand what you're saying.
But this is part of what state aid exists for as well, so I'm asking everybody for everything, because I need these things done relatively soon. So I think I'm asking the Friends as well. I don't know which ones they'll approve, because they do have, as a nonprofit, they have a list of things that money for the capital, that fund that they've been talking about was donated for. None of these technically fall into what they asked for the money for from people.
It was interior and exterior.
It was interior.
No, I heard it was exterior also.
I don't have the documentation personally, but I've been told it's interior furniture, fixtures, and equipment.
Please check that, because
Custody,
that's
do you
not
recall?
what I heard.
I know that a part of the financing for the renovation was that a certain amount be raised through fundraising, by the Friends. And in fact, Brian Fresta was the chair of that fundraising effort. I don't know, other than raising a certain amount, I don't recall whether.
It was, what was it supposed to go to? Well, that's something we should.
Yeah, and so I'm getting
We
into
should
it,
know.
but I also don't want to surprise you, because these things are happening, and some of them I need to just do before it becomes urgent,
Yeah, I
and
think
like the
this
fire inspection
Safety-
stuff.
yeah,
I
fire
gotta get it
inspections,
done.
yeah,
Yeah, you said you're still
We don't have a
waiting
choice.
for a quote, so.
Yeah,
So that's
but I'm
not-
hoping to get the quote this week and try to get, I don't like to have the life safety items pending for longer
I
than
never
we
said that. It's just,
need to.
it's the payment is different. You still can get the work going. but
Yeah, I gotta get the work going, but
The
I
work
wanted,
going and payment are two different things.
well, and that's why I wanted to bring you up to speed on all of them
Yeah.
tonight, because it's been a lot at once. And we knew this would come on the town side of things when we hired a facilities director, that there'd been things that we wouldn't know about that had been neglected or would come up that they would find out. And here we are in the find out stage on these items. So I just want to bring you guys up to speed on what Robin and I are working on with Peter. One that's gonna go on our capital plan request for fiscal 27 is that the condenser that keeps our server room cool is going. So we're putting that in as a capital request item. That'll be roughly $8,000 all in. But we do not think that condenser will do any kind of cooling when we get to the summertime. It struggled to get through the end of this summer. So that'll be about 8,000. But that basically, if that room overheats, it means that like our printers, our servers, our wireless, everything goes down, because those have to be kept cool.
Don't get me wrong, we need to do all of this.
Yeah.
This isn't a question of can we
It's just a
live without
matter
a
of when
condenser.
the timing happens, because the condenser can wait until we get fiscal 27 money. And then the last piece that I don't have a price point on, but I think will be about less than 1,000, is a backup battery for the elevator, just so that we have the correct battery for the Delta Beckwith elevator. And that's one where they just do it and then we pay the price, so I don't know how much it'll be, but I know it's been replaced, so the elevator's in good standing. So all which
That's
to
in case
say,
the power goes out, the elevator still gets
it
you
has
there.
like a safety amount so that it can get down and open and let people out. So all these were a summary from Peter Coleman. He and I continue to look through, what do we need to do in the next month or so? What do we need to do in the next 3 to 6? What do we need to do in the next year? And then the 5-year capital plan, which is the traditional model the town uses for capital budgeting. Again, still building the capital budget. We'll be going through it with you more in depth at your February meeting when I have everything organized and we've established timing on fiscal year for some of the requests. I just wanted to let you guys know, it's been a very busy year on building maintenance, and I don't think that's gonna slow down, unfortunately.
Can I ask? Yes, this is the library and we need a budget, but what's the responsibility of the town to some of these? Is there anything in the town's budget that covers any of our,
So the way we are currently structured is everything for your building is in your budget. So
Okay.
that's true of the library,
no, that I'm just,
council on aging, same thing. And the thing is, when we move to the new municipal complex, that will change for police and fire and council on aging, but it won't change for the library, because for reporting purposes, all of these facilities expenses also count towards the town's library spend. So while Peter will be taking on the management of the building maintenance and facilities accounts within the library's scope, it will still be in the library's budget, because of when Sarah and I looked through everything, we found that when it came time to pull the reports that we pulled last summer to do the errors reporting for what the state is asking for data, we felt it made more sense to leave the library as a unit, because it makes it much harder to pull library expenses out of a bigger town facilities budget when it came time for that reporting. So from a reporting perspective, it's in the library's budget. The library also uniquely has things that other groups don't, like the fire department does not have a Friends. So we have the Friends to ask, which I'm meeting with the Friends on Wednesday with all, giving them this same report and request. And then the library has state aid, and you guys have some other funds as well that other departments don't have. So that's where I want to look at all of our options and find the right funding source for the right projects.
yeah, no, I was just, and now are we getting charged for the building, this gentleman that is
We
doing?
do not get charged for his time. He is a town-wide employee
Okay.
out of the town
So we're
facilities
not-
department. No,
And but will he make an individual report on what he sees?
Yeah,
With you, I'm sure.
oh yeah, he's actually committing to spending 15 to 30 minutes in every building every day right now, because he's still trying to get to know their nooks and crannies and their ebbs and flows. So he's in this building every day in the morning before we open, ensuring that he understands how every iota of the buildings work. His spreadsheet for operations and maintenance townwide of all of our buildings, was both an overwhelming budget presentation, but abundantly showed to us on the budget and finance team, like why having a centralized human being who is an expert in facilities is the most critical investment. Like, I'm very proud of this town for the investment we made in public safety this year, but just as importantly is this person with this know-how doing what we have him doing. So I think this is the part where it's gonna hurt a little, because he's gonna, uncover some things that we've been,
neglected.
yep. And, but at the same time, I think it's gonna make the building much stronger in the long run.
Can I just ask, and I know so little about building maintenance, I have to confess, but I know underground, there's a generator over in the next building, the fire station, that will be going offline. Fire station will be going offline, not the generator. How does that get?
What a lovely question. So we're working on electrical quotes for a number of small projects, related to the fire station leaving this campus. So the electrical will include rewiring the generator to serve for emergency functions for this building. So the generator basically will become yours at no cost to the library. It'll just be the cost of the electrical to hook us up. So the electrical work we're gonna do is rewiring the generator, moving the septic controls from the fire department's basement to our basement, because we share the system, but the control panels in their building, so we'll move that across. We're going to move an electric heating system into the book return part of the foyer with that electrical work, because we have some temperature control issues where the book drop is super drafty for, and so there's pipes in this wall of the building that are overexposed. So that's why if you notice the book drop door has been open more, because we're trying to keep temperature in that book drop space.
Noticed.
And then the fourth part of the electrical is we have a new electronic signboard that will replace the whiteboard in the lobby, and we'll just mirror what's on our event calendar every day. And so at that point, that was a lot of electrical work. So we said, let's get one quote together for the whole scope and do the bid out and get a competitive pricing for all of that electrical work. So that'll go on for next year's capital.
Excellent update, really great update. Who's, paying for the electrical board itself? How's that getting paid for?
So right now, we're just getting quotes and I'm putting it in the capital plan. No funding sources have been determined yet. We're still in the what do we need phase.
But that, purchasing that was many, I think the first year I was elected.
Purchasing which?
An electronic
Oh,
sign.
so the signboard we got for free.
Oh.
Yeah, we actually have a wonderful relationship with the town of Danvers. We pay them to support us with strategic management and procurement of IT. And they were buying one for one of their buildings as an experiment. And I said, we agreed to be the other half of the experiment because they wanted to try it in 2 different buildings. So the TV board, free. It's just getting the power.
That's huge.
So
Well done.
It must
I've
be-
been working
must
on
be
that for a
and,
long time.
Is it Wi-Fi or is it Ethernet connected?
I respectfully don't know.
So the
It
electrical,
talks to itself.
What's the board on?
it must be,
It's,
Right.
I mean, it needs power to turn on. I don't know how it talks to itself. If it's like a,
we all talk to ourselves, we all.
yeah,
with information that's put in there for
yeah.
other reasons, so. All right, just wondering, electrical
If
could be
you would
electrical
like
and.
to know the
Ethernet.
answer, I can find
I
out.
don't need to, I'm sure somebody competent doing a great job doing it.
Yeah.
Just wondering, you said the Friends, the donations are to be used for interior fixtures,
Furnishings,
furniture, and,
like equipment, like lighting fixtures and things like that. But I'm meeting with them on Wednesday night, so I'll have a better update at your February meeting. I just did not want you to be surprised. I know the gutter folks came out and it was very last minute last week, because there was such nice weather at the end of last week that we needed to seize the day. But there's a lot of other smaller ones coming up. It's gonna be a busy time at the library for facilities maintenance, so I just wanted to make you aware in case people reach out to you and have feedback. The last one that I think is quite noticeable that I also wanna bring you up to speed on is we're getting quotes to replace the software system that feeds the electronic signboard. You may find as you drive up and down 114, there are days when it is off, and that is because we'd rather it be off than showing incorrect information. There was a period it kept resetting back to the October programs. The software is no longer getting updated. It's not really getting supported by the provider. So we would keep the board, we'd keep the electronics, but we're looking to get the upgrade of the software that feeds it. So that's part of the IT department's capital budget that they're working on for.
Do you have a cost for that yet?
No,
What's the
we're still waiting,
question
we're
about?
still waiting to get some
And-
quotes.
That would be part of the FY 27 capital.
Correct. So all these things, our capital budgets are not due until early February. So I will be in much better shape to give you a better, picture at your February meeting. I'll have like a full spreadsheet that I will send out in advance with your packet. But I just wanted to start the conversation tonight as part of the budget update because it's very busy. And I do want to especially thank Peter. He's hit the ground running in all aspects of our municipal buildings. And he made sure that the library was a big part of his workflow. The staff all know him by name. He's been here every day, getting to know our operations. So
it sounds like he's really on top of things. I'm,
this is less buildings for him. He used to have 32, so this is like actually a nice change, I think.
were any of them as old as this one?
Yes.
Good.
He was at the facilities director for Gordon College. So 32 buildings, some residential, some commercial, a science lab, a chapel, historic library, athletic complex. Like he's done a little bit of everything on a college campus, which is really to our benefit right now. And he's just thrilled that there's not a lot of residential overnight clientele for us.
Believe that.
So
The state funds. We get, what's the criteria for what it can be used for?
to the discretion of this board.
But not normal operation, right? You can't pay salaries.
Yes, you can't, it has to be one time. It can't be a recurring cost.
Okay,
So I will say, in my prior community, the number one use of state aid was the the elevator in that community was dying in the library. So I think we had, like, there was a year where the only thing they'd spent out of state aid was just elevator repairs because it had become so costly. That's a good example of like a one-time critical infusion, and some of these are more than one time. Some of these were gonna be right-siding the library's facilities budget too. But a couple of them are just time sensitive.
We still have, we have to we turned money in to the town, correct?
That we had
That we
turned
had,
over to the
Foundation money.
treasurers. That's foundation money and different.
We can still use that.
I mean, can we use, I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and that's where when I come in February, I'll have final costs on all of these, and that's where we can say like, this can wait till next year, we'll put it in as a capital request. This feels really time sensitive, and I don't wanna ask
Yeah.
FinCom for a reserve fund transfer. Like, can we dip into like $4,000 of state aid or the trustees, like,
I mean, that's what I said, I mean, we do
Yeah.
have money
From that.
that we have
absolutely.
per se.
But I wanna have a harder set line of sight on
Yeah.
costs before we start talking about.
The foundation money, if I'm correct, Costa, is very clearly designated though, what they donated the money for, and what it can be
No.
used for.
There's 3 buckets of money.
Right.
2 buckets, the BF Emerson and Emerson. They're different buckets, but they have the same criteria. For major improvements, library expansion, or unforeseen emergencies.
Perfect.
Okay,
Okay. The 3rd bucket is totally discretionary.
Aha, okay.
And then state aid is discretionary as to what to do.
except,
So-
yeah,
Anything that we need to take care of this fiscal year, we have money to do it. It's just a matter of deciding, where do we tip from?
What's the total again from, that we put in, was 40 plus, what was the total again?
Well, the unrestricted
Yeah,
is now 42 after that $1,000.
that you have to give to,
Yeah.
and then what?
The others, are like 70 and
Yeah, there's a good amount.
37.
It's
But
100
you
plus.
can, of those 2, you can't touch 22,000 of that.
Principal.
And then we have, a budget in state aid. So
so, I mean, there's money
That's a good
available
number.
that we
There's
can,
money available. I wanna have a harder line of sight on some of the costs. I just didn't wanna surprise you in February with a capital plan and you're like, whoa, Jackie, where is this coming from? It's coming from me, working with Peter. I just
and I mean, this,
priming you for that conversation.
and I think some of the stuff, if you didn't know building maintenance or building management,
You might not think of it.
you would not even know that it was an issue.
Like the
100%.
gutters and-
Yeah,
And I also think, if whatever, depending on the total of what we asked for in capital for FY 27, I think contributing something toward that cost from these funds would also be, appropriate. So, if it adds up to $20,000, saying, we'll kick in 5,
Absolutely.
towns
split it up.
make up the, or the friends put in a little, we put in a little, and the town puts in the rest.
Well, the money's there
Yeah,
to be used, not to sit there,
correct.
and we wish we had money to repair the batteries. I mean, let's repair the batteries.
Yeah. So we'll proceed with some of the work, just because we gotta get it done, but, we'll have a more intensive presentation on it at your next meeting.
thank you.
I can just add, and I'm sure Peter's doing it this way, but usually, especially in order of importance, it's going to be safety,
Yep.
obviously, right? So especially the fire safety, we need to make sure the building's in code and what have you. And then any repairs that are going to save us money in the long run, if we don't do them now, it's going to cost us more.
Absolutely.
And then there's the optional like to have, but I'm sure he's doing that already. It sounds like he's.
He really is, to the point where I start to lose interest in his level of detail, but I'm really glad he exists and he is an expert at what he does. Because I simply can't care about HVAC more than, is it a pleasant temperature in here? Do you have the money to fix it if it's not? And he cares He loves to do that, so we're very lucky.
Good. Great news.
So that's both my budget and my building update. As far as annual reporting, been no change. We've been certified, so all that's good to go. Library programs and services, our January newsletter's out. February will be coming soon. Thank you all again for stepping up. A lot of great volunteerism for upcoming programs. I know the staff is really appreciative. It gives us some flexibility with the volume, and it's very appreciated, so thank you. And for those of you that have specific jobs at your programs, you'll be getting emails from me in the next week or so.
For the FY 27 operating budget. These, I think, we all are willing, to cover these programs and, there's a level of enjoyment from each of us in doing that. If we commit to doing some of that in FY 27, is there an opportunity to tweak the budget downwards?
What a lovely question.
Using that word liberally.
That's
So-
not a
Lovely.
question. You said
Well,
that
no, I think
several
it's an
times.
important question because we do only budget $6,000 a year for programming in the town operating budget. So,
But that's
but
what the friends are for.
thankfully,
I'm talking about
I know where you're.
wages.
I know where you're going. I'm coming around to it. So on the expense side, it's not a big lift. It's $6,000. Most of our programming dollars come from the friends, from donations, from grants. I know the programmers were talking about their cultural council applications already this year, which the cultural council has been very generous supporters. As far as wages go, we have a bargaining unit. I'm actively bargaining with them. Members of that bargaining unit are actively attending this public meeting, Costa. So I'm happy to chat with any and all of you one-on-one offline. But at this time, I am actively bargaining with our group. And I'll be truthful, we do have our new team person that started. She's training right now. She's upstairs. We're still short one part-time circulation assistant. I'm covering a desk on occasion for a half an hour here, a half an hour there to cover meal breaks when it's tight. If somebody takes vacation, it's really tight. This week I'll be here a little bit more with Robin. Robin's on vacation this week. It's a pretty tight wages budget in terms of volume of staff that we have. Certainly not the year for a supplemental request. I mean, the guidance was quite loud and clear that there was no override on the table for a few years. So I did not put forward a supplemental request. There's been a lot of change, a lot of people learning their roles. Very happy with the staff that started to come in the door. And the culture and the staff we have now. I genuinely don't know if I could build the schedule safely with less bodies. And the thing is, that's where when the trustees volunteer for programs, it's not as if that person's now a double on a desk. That means that
They're able to do something else.
correct.
So if
Instead of there's,
enough volunteer hours, are there things that can get done?
it means more of the things we've been putting off can get
Okay.
done. It means that more time can be spent on collection work, more time can be spent on, the programs that we do host in-house versus the vendor ones. It means that when the staff is busy, they're not asking, the full-timers only get 2 hours a week where they're off desk, guaranteed. We try to accommodate more, but it's really hard to do anything when you're constantly interacting with the public. So it's really just making sure that there's people to help circulate books.
So in response to you, based on my experience working in libraries, I can tell you that the trustees' wonderful ability to volunteer is volunteerism, and to run any business, including a library, a town hall, anything, on volunteerism is not a way to run a business. And you find in the end that you lack staff, you lack trained staff, because they haven't been filling those slots. And volunteerism is lovely, but you can't really.
Well, volunteerism and being at these programs,
Yeah,
which
but it's.
is not the programs I've done. I basically just sat in the corner just to have a presence.
And that's where, with respect to the trustees, It's why we enjoy having you for programs, especially if it's one you already don't mind attending. Because, sometimes staff will try to sit in the corner and do other work while they're sitting there, but if they can be on a desk doing coverage of a desk and doing that other work. We also have started increasing our volunteer pool in other ways outside of the trustees. So we have our tax work off folks who come in, they help us with shelving, they do shelf reading, they check to make sure the switches aren't in the boxes and they're in the switch safe. It's like a really more of a big deal than I wanna get into. They help us with, cleaning out periodicals and like
That's a little bit more of
shifting.
a formal program though, but even there, you've got a situation where they don't show up, so they don't get their 2 hours, but they don't show up, but that leaves the library in a lurch.
Well, and that's where like with shelving and shelf reading, like they can, like usually the next volunteers in the next day, you can pick up where shelf reading left off. So, I will credit our tax work off folks. We have pretty reliable ones, but like people call out, they get sick, things happen. We also have a few volunteers that are specifically coming in to help with shelving, or they'll coordinate with a librarian who is doing weeding and come in and help just as an extra set of hands, as an extra body when that weeding's happening. So we've been trying to redevelop our volunteer corps because there was not a lot of volunteers on the roster last summer, and folks have been steadily kind of re-engaging, and we're kind of re-expanding. The one thing that I haven't super re-expanded is our high school volunteer program, because while I really want to support youths coming into the community and giving their time, they need a lot more hand holding. So we've been trying to get volunteers that are coming in and get trained on one thing and then come in and do that thing.
What about, reaching out, maybe you've done already, but reaching out to the PTO for moms who are available while their kids are at school to come in and do a program? Have you reached out to PTO people?
We haven't. I don't know if they're like, I do have a contact at PTO I regularly talk to about programming. They've never asked for it, but I'm happy to offer
Well, they
it.
have their finger on the pulse of moms who are available and, talk to them about different things and
Yeah.
that.
I mean, I
age group.
really think it's a benefit for the trustees to.
Oh, definitely, but to
I mean,
have extra, that
yeah.
we're not enough.
No, I mean, and I think if we can relieve somebody from sitting here and doing the things that need to be done, or planning another program is such a benefit. And I think, once or twice, once a month, if each of us did once a month, yeah, you might not be able to do it 1 month, but if we all made a commitment, that's,
True, but I'm saying PTO is a great resource.
that's five, that's 1, 2, 3,
5 hours a
4, 5,
month, yeah.
5 hours that maybe somebody else can do something else.
I know it sounds like an ideal situation, but even staff who you think is just clicking a clicker here, is a librarian, is much more able, A, to contribute to the program that's going on, but also B, to really continue and do work while they're here watching and supervising, and then they're here in an emergency. In an emergency, all I'm gonna be able to do is jump up and try and go get a librarian.
And that's,
So
And that's why we've
I
been very,
I disagree with you, Allison. I think
I've seen it happen, Susan, that's all I'm saying.
we've been very mindful too, that the types of programs we typically are asking for your volunteerism on are ones where there's usually a vendor who is like a very
Right,
capable
capable.
performer or runner of programs. But I think, I just wanna say the staff appreciates how we've been doing it, any support you can have in helping us. Thankfully, our new team person started last week, she's settling in, but she's still, learning the desks, like,
What is her name?
Lena.
I was gonna ask you how to pronounce it. That's
Yeah,
what I didn't know.
Lena or Lena,
Or Lena, okay,
Yeah.
because it was spelled and I was like, wait, how do you
yeah,
pronounce it?
Lena, or, she does go shorten it to Lena sometimes.
So Lena is okay, okay.
Yep.
I was wondering, and I was gonna ask you.
And we also have to consider that for the moment, a lot of our staff is in training. And that's gonna be, by next summer, we're gonna have a group of really trained, qualified people who are running this beautifully.
And a new director.
Susan, I do like your idea about all of us trying to commit to that, and I'm not opposed to that. I think it helps, but it's good for all of us to be visible to the people, and I don't sit in the corner and work.
Did you draw an
actively
octopus?
participate, yeah.
Oh,
And
man,
I'm
we're
really-
never gonna have a meeting again without the octopus
You are,
meeting.
no, we're not, I have to mention it.
Who knows, my ghost was a failure, but later this month, I'm doing another painting.
Okay.
I just
What
put
is
your
it?
name next to the painting ones now, I'm gonna wait for you to
Yeah, don't
volunteer.
even wait, just send me the dates, I'll take them once a month.
What's this
yeah.
month's artwork you're ready?
We don't know yet till we
Oh,
get there.
you don't know yet.
Really excited about it.
I think you do know if you
Mark Picasso.
look at it.
Oh,
but
yeah, I do remember now, but I forgot what it was. I'm
That's
coming
okay.
regardless what it is.
I know
Alright,
you'll be there
so-
with bells on.
So please continue to Susan's point, maybe keep us in the loop
Yeah,
and maybe we just proactively say, hey, I'll take this one.
And I think we're also, we're doing some virtual programs. That was something that we were doing for adult programming for a little while because there's other libraries that are offering like a really great author or something.
Mhm.
And they offer it as a virtual option, so we've added those back into
That's
the calendar for adults. And then our new team person just started last week, so she's still getting up to speed. But I'm really excited for the programming team. I met with them briefly on Thursday after, I let them meet with each other and then I met with them for a little while. They're super excited, the ideas are flowing. I think they're gonna be a really great cohort, in terms of our intergenerational programming. I know they've connected with the COA on some things, Lena's getting ready to connect with the 2 high school librarians at Masco and Essex Tech. I think there's a lot of potential and opportunity and we just need to give it a little bit of time to really manifest, and I think that's gonna be great. And so with my staffing update, Lena did start last week. She's doing our evening shift. So she's Monday through Thursday, noon to 8, and then Fridays 9 to 5 with the rotating Sunday. Still training, but getting up to speed rather quickly. She joined us from the Marlborough Public Library and had completed her degree at Simmons over the summer.
Good training.
Yeah, it's great training. A little bit new because they're on Evergreen and we have Symphony.
Yes.
But thankfully, MVLC, we had them come out last week and they did training for Lena. They also offered some other refresher trainings to some of our existing staff. And we're working on some training for the spring when Robin gets back from vacation on some other staff trainings that we'll start to do in the spring. So yeah, things going well on the staffing update side. And now I come to the library director search update and review. So the position was posted. We are receiving applications. I would like to be receiving more applications with the appropriate credentials. We do have some, but I am concerned about the volume of variety. The priority deadline is noon on Thursday of this week. I was hoping for more from this weekend that we just concluded. I'm gonna make a judgment call tomorrow morning. I was gonna be posting for the library director screening committee at the end of this week. If I don't see a couple more come in overnight, I think I'm going to ask them to wait a week.
So that Mark and I know.
Yeah, and I'll get an email out ASAP to the members. Please do share it with your network. I did a post on LinkedIn. I know Justin shared it. I think other people have shared it. Expand our horizons. If you know someone, feel free to if you're a LinkedIn person, connect with me. All the post is there. You just have to hit share. Super easy. I have it on all of the library groups. I'm personally calling and bugging people.
People have been reaching out to me saying, oh, I noticed you're posting, Rebecca, what happened? And the answer is, good person, this is a great situation for them to walk into.
Yeah. So I'll make a judgment call, but I'd like a little bit more volume of credentialed candidates before the screening committee. There's a lot of you and I don't want to waste your time.
Any people that were there the last time come back in again?
I haven't seen any repeats.
Just wondering.
Not that I recall.
What does that mean, any repeats?
She was asking if there's anyone who had applied previously the last time around.
Oh, it's not just the same, the whole group didn't, the whole
No, we
screening
haven't,
committee?
I don't believe, no, the screening committee, she's
Applicants.
applicants.
Oh, applicants, I'm sorry, I missed that.
I wonder if there's any repeats from the last
Not
round.
that I
Ah,
recall.
You would probably remember. I
Yeah.
can imagine you wouldn't.
Definitely no one we interviewed. I don't think so. I think no.
Okay, no problem. I think you would have, if the ones we interviewed, you would have remembered their
Mhm.
names. Thank you.
Anytime. So yeah, I will keep you posted on that. I've been doing the Friday updates, not every week, but some of the time, so I'll probably send an update at the end of this week with how that goes. The screening committee will get something tomorrow, but I'll keep you all posted.
Wonderful, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for all you do again every week, every month we say it, but you're invaluable to the library and we appreciate it.
And to the whole town.
The town.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Thankfully, I got to put one of my hats back on the hook last week.
Justin's back, yeah, good.
Very grateful.
He's probably tired. He doesn't get.
He is. He
New baby.
yeah. Both of us are struggling to form coherent sentences, but for very different reasons. Or he almost missed the turn to the municipal campus last week when we were going down there. I was like, wait, the driveway changed. Don't turn into the fence. But yeah, he's back and he's raring to go as much as he can be.
Good for him. Good.
Very good. All right, moving on to policy review and potential approvals. First time, 2026 policy cleanup project. Word on the street is you guys have been active.
Get rid of a bunch.
We've been working at it. We did,
Right.
excuse me, I'm gonna pat not only Jackie, but myself on the back.
We're cleaning it up.
We cleaned it up.
Yeah.
So these are all first readings tonight. So just for the record, first reading for deletion of the policies are either found in MGL, town employee handbook, or other appropriate source documentation, including policy number 5, executive session, that's covered under the Mass General Law for open meeting law. 6, open meeting law, that is also covered in the open meeting law. The freedom to read, which is covered in other source documents. The education stipend, which has been changed into a document that will go into the union contract. The Friends of the Flint, they have their own founding documentation as a nonprofit. So we don't need to have a policy that they exist. They exist through their own nonprofit creation. And then the policy on harassment and harassment complaint form and the quarry policy are all functions of my department as HR and covered by the town's employee handbook, which also serves the library. So we don't have to have a separate, I actually think it's a bit of a confusion point to have a separate policy for just the library. And then summer library hours, which the library hours are set, but they also are bargainable. So I'd like to recant that policy for that reason. And I'm gonna just adjust the thermostat if there's any questions or comments about the first bullet.
The air conditioner is on.
Go.
She's gonna try.
It'll kick back
None of the policies we're suggesting rescinding are
Not
unique,
covered by
and
the
they're
town.
all available elsewhere
In the town.
in
So
the
they
town.
would not
or
impact
state, or-
operations because they're from other source documents.
Then I make a motion, we,
Can I ask one quick question first about the Friends of the Flint? Does this policy, is it any reason we should consider keeping it, or is there
No.
anything in there
I
about
mean,
it?
they're an independent organization, so we can't do really anything with them, we can't tell them what to do, they can't tell us what to do, we're just two separate things.
Putting their policy, putting their bylaws or whatever as our policy is irrelevant because it's just a repeat of exactly what they've got.
They're a separate 501c3
Yeah.
for our purposes, so
Someone liked
Okay.
creating
All right.
policies, it seemed, in this library.
well, I think also like if they like were a thing before they became their 501c3 status,
Maybe.
that would have made sense.
I'm saying in
They-
general, you
Yeah,
have
but
too
they've been
many
an active
policies.
501c3 for a long time, so there's no material impact.
Right. And the
Um,
Boston Library doesn't even have 40, he has like 40 policies, it's ridiculous. I think Boston Public Library is like 15.
No, Jackie and I really looked at every single one of these.
I make a
The
motion
only-
to.
I just don't want to,
also,
that's okay, I just want to make sure we're not offending
I
anybody
don't
for any
think that we
reason.
would be,
Oh,
Jackie
no,
would
it's
never do
gonna
that
bother-
to begin with.
We have a great relationship with them, and I want to make sure we keep it, so I'm just
I think
dotting my,
I think
Guys,
it's really
cross my
just,
T's.
it's really a ministerial cleanup.
okay,
Great.
So I make a motion to delete those 5 to 14, Jackie? Is
Uh,
it?
5,
Or do I
6, 7, 8, 12, 29, 30, 40, 43.
As
did
she
you have a
said,
question, Susan?
No,
or
as she
something?
said,
Okay.
I make that, I make that
Oh,
motion.
okay.
I second it.
Motion moved by Maria, seconded by Susan, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
So bullet,
Oh, this is, my back feels lighter already. This is gonna really clean up our website as well.
yeah. So bullet 2, this is a first reading. So currently we have 2 policies. One's called displays, one's called exhibits and displays. So why not? We have one policy, call it exhibits and displays, pull everything from the display policy into the exhibit and display policy and have one policy.
I make a motion for that.
Second.
Any discussion? Heard none, all in favor?
Oh, aye.
Aye.
Right.
Hooray.
You
Terrific.
guys put enough work into it.
Yeah, thank you,
Fancy
thank
for
you
us
for your
too.
efforts.
Right.
It was hours for me, hours for her, and then hours for us together, and I thank you for that. But you know what?
So don't
This
make
was
it
a
longer.
real-
Allison.
We're not done yet, guys. If you flip
Yeah.
over your agenda, we got one more to do.
No, I
Don't
know,
lose
but
that
I'm just
enthusiasm.
saying. It was 18, I got.
So 18 is our patron borrowing policy. And
We're
you'll-
not really doing much to that.
No, if you'll
No,
recall,
that's
last
what it
month we reviewed the Library of Things
did,
policy.
yep.
So all we're doing is taking the Library of Things policy and putting it into the rest of the patron borrowing policy, so that all of the things about patrons borrowing, whether it's books or things, is all in one place. So it's just taking what you saw last month and what exists in policy 18 and just combining them together and not making another new policy.
Sold.
Into policy 18.
All in all
I
done?
make a motion to accept bringing those 2 pieces together as Jackie stated into policy 18.
Maria
second.
moved, Susan second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you all. Ahead of your next meeting, I will have a lovely new codified version of the policies because we'll have to, so if you could take a motion to authorize me to handle the renumbering and codification of
I
the
make a
policies.
motion to accept the renumbering codification of the policies. by
I second
Jackie.
that.
Aye.
Moved by Maria and seconded by Allison, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries unanimously.
Yes, very nice.
And then we will read this again next month and,
Which will
that'll be
bring
a
to
second
us in
reading.
a totally clean form with all the new numbers, because
Get excited.
all of these will come out of the numbering, and that's a big job to go into each one of them and say, well, you say recodify, it sounds like such a nice new word, but going into each policy and saying, oh, that used to be number 5, now it's gotta say number 7, you know, just to make sure that it's a great librarian.
I will be, I'm actually really remiss to say that JJ Domino, who's been helping in my office with the town's full codification, was really bummed because he took a full-time job and
Oh,
didn't get to do this codification. He was like, oh man, I love codification. And I go, you're the only person I know.
Just wanna do that on the side, while this full-time job.
It's not off the table. But thank you all for the support, Allison. I appreciate the partnership and I know, everybody's really excited. Robin has been weighing in as well, which has been great. And anytime a policy's been relevant to a particular librarian or multiple, we've pulled them in, and gotten some research and just giving them exposure to the things that come before you all, which is great. But that is
That's
everything.
Just discussing the date for our next meeting is, Monday, February 9th at 7 PM. Works for everyone.
Well, I will be away and will be staying in.
Allison,
Wasn't that, I don't know, I had tentative screen committee.
On the 15th, oh, well, she's not sure about that.
I
date,
would say we're
February,
probably
that's
just gonna
fine.
have a regular meeting on the
Okay.
ninth.
Okay, no.
Thank you for
Yeah, I remember what
blocking
you
it
said.
off though.
You'd asked us to block it.
Yeah, I was hopeful.
We never know, tomorrow, the next meeting, new things.
Very true.
So if there's no other business,
make a
we'll take a
motion to
motion to adjourn. Motion moved by Allison, second.
Well,
Maria seconded, all in favor. All right.
My computer had 20 minutes to go, guys. This was great timing.
Well,
that's what